This is a story I saw on Reddit. Figured I'd do a video of it. It's supposedly true, and I am not saying that I own any of it. It's told from the person's perspective. So, it's called The Smiling Man. About 5 or 6 years ago, when I went to college, I would stay up really late. I was more of a night person, and I would often find myself bored when my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. After he went to bed, I would often go out on night walks to think and clear my head. I never really felt a reason to be afraid. I used to joke with my friends that even the drug dealers in this town are friendly. Anyway, when I was walking one night, I turned down a short side street to loop back around to my apartment. I looked at the road and the sidewalk ahead of me, and there was no one. After a little while, on the horizon, I could see a silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to that of a waltz, except with every box he completed, he gave a forward stride. Assuming he was probably drunk, I moved over to the street to give him the majority of the sidewalk. As he grew closer, I could make out his face. His head was tilted back, looking to the sky. His eyes were wide and wild, and his mouth was formed in what could be described as a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Completely unnerved by this, I decided to cross. Took my eyes off of him for a second to cross the street, get at my placing, and when I looked back, he was frozen, 1 foot on the road. It was odd, and I kept my eyes on him until I put about a block in between us. Then I turned around to watch the sidewalk ahead of me. When I turned back around, I felt the briefest of moments of relief. That is until I saw him. He had crossed the street, and he was crouched down, frozen, head still tilted back, eyes still wild. Then he started walking towards me, sneaking as if he was a cartoon, creeping up on someone. I would like to say that I pulled out my pepper spray or ran, but I didn't. I watched as he grew closer and closer. What I wanted to do was yell out in a strong, commanding voice, "What are you doing?" But instead, what came out was a whimper. "What the?" But at my voice, he stopped. He froze mid-stride. And then he started dancing again, going in the opposite direction that I was. I watched. I watched until he was nearly out of eye view. I didn't want to turn my back on him again. Then, my eyes grew wide with horror as I saw the distant figure growing closer and wider. He was coming back my way. He wasn't dancing anymore. This time, he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was back on a more populated street with the sparse traffic, and when I turned to see him, he was nowhere to be found. I never once walked through that town again. I eventually moved. Something about his face still haunts me today. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. Thank you.